This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.
Hi Gemini, the football transfer window's open. How are my team's stats looking?
Well, your team definitely has a lot of star power.
Do you think we're going to have a good season?
It's going to come down to consistency and a little bit of luck on your side.
I'll let you know if we win.
I'll be keeping an eye on the scores.
Yeah, me too.
Now we're talking. Transfer to Google Pixel 9 with Gemini Live today. Sequences shortened. Gemini Live available for ages 18+. Internet required. Results are illustrative. Check responses for accuracy. Feature and account compatibility limitations apply.
Yo, UK! At BetMGM, we give our players sports betting entertainment like nobody's business. Football, horse racing, darts, boxing, tennis, golf, NFL, NBA. You name it, we got it. Offers? You know it. Bet £10 and get £40 in free bets. BetMGM, it's showtime.
New customers only. Exclusions apply. 18+. Please gamble responsibly.
Good evening everyone, it's Monday night and welcome once again to the Tilton Talk Show. I'm Paul Hipkiss and tonight I'm joined by the chairman Alan Watton.
Good evening.
The one and only Claire Giblin.
Good evening.
Welcome back Mark Meredith.
Good evening all.
Who are you? Mr. Always Blues, as per the t-shirt behind him.
Good evening
Mark
everyone.
Where'd you steal that from?
Good evening everyone. It's not stolen and I've shown everybody the official label, so it's all above board, it's all good. New year, new me.
Mr. Craig Courtney, who keeps spotting celebrities outside the Globe and Ball every match day, more or less.
Oh yeah, why not? You know, you might as well. But good evening everyone.
And last but by no means least, the main man, Mr. Chris Browne.
Good flipping evening.
Well, I purposely delayed saying that we're sponsored by AMG Logistics, which we proudly are, because I want to wish Mr. AMG Logistics himself, the one and only Andy Griffiths, a very happy birthday for today. So he's our friend of the show and sponsor. Andy Griffiths' birthday today. So I want to wish Andy a very happy birthday from us all. So happy birthday.
Very happy returns and a happy 21st.
Absolutely. I want to start the show as well by obviously saying rest in peace to the one and only Jimmy Calderwood as well, who we sadly lost. Was it on Saturday, sorry?
Yeah.
And also obviously Dennis Law as well. Two legends of the game there, obviously a Blues legend and a Manchester United legend there, sadly no longer with us. But Mark Meredith, I believe you was related to Jimmy Calderwood. Was it your wife's relative, I believe?
Yeah, my first wife back in England, so, it's her uncle, so the boys' second uncle. So yeah, we spent I spent a bit of time with him during that time, and I heard yesterday morning when I woke up, one of my sons texted me and just said that he'd passed away. So say condolences to the family and whatever else. But yeah, it was a top guy and is still young as well, 69 really. I know he'd had some issues for the last couple of years, but obviously it's still a young age.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, very, very sad indeed. And I'm going to also talk about Garry Cook as well, stepping down, and want to wish Garry all the best. And obviously I know he's still got connections with us, obviously he's still involved, but obviously he stepped away being our CEO. Claire, what are your thoughts on that?
I think it was a shock, really. I don't think anyone saw it coming. Obviously I don't think we'll ever know why. But I mean, the amount of things that he's done for the Blues, he's obviously helped turn us around, so we'll forever be grateful. Yeah. He's one of us as well. So obviously whatever he decides to do now, good luck to him. And I think, Jeremy Dale stepping in, right man for the job at the moment, and see who we can get in. I do think we need someone experienced. Yeah. I think we need somebody who understands the club, who's been there, done that. But good luck to him, whatever it is. We don't need to know. Don't want to know. But I think, we kind of move on from there. At least he's got some sort of affiliation with us, and he's a part of the groups and still helping out, which just shows how much the club does mean to him. I mean, the worst thing he did was the Rooney incident, but everything else he's been fantastic at. And whenever he's spoken, he's very passionate about the Blues. So good luck to him.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so all the best to Garry Cook as well. So shall we get into the games then? So obviously last Tuesday, Swindon away, I believe you was there, Claire, and we scrapped the 2-1 from a Cochrane corner right at the depth. I thought it was another tussle, wasn't it? And these teams are proving hard to sort of break down, aren't they? And Swindon were no different.
Yeah, I think I don't think it helped that obviously we did play our second string as such. I know that we had a few first team players, but I mean with 9 injured, I think Chris Davis said, I think we did put a performance in. I think we do lack that creativity at times going forward.
Yeah.
At one point we were just launching the ball to Alfie May, who's the smallest player on the pitch, but I mean, Kiyama played really, really well. He took his goal well.
Yeah.
And I think that obviously sometimes we need a bit of luck. I think we do need to score more from corners. I think that having one, it just shows, doesn't it? Get the ball into the box. It could go off anybody. And to be honest, I was just happy it didn't go to penalties because I'd work the next day. So, but their goal, big man up front, headed it in. It was one of those kind of games and the atmosphere was good. I mean, couldn't find a seat. It was that busy, but it was really good. And then Saturday, was it the best? No. Was it the prettiest game of football? No. Did they come to play football? Definitely not. I mean, I've never known a team not even have a shot or be in our 18-yard box throughout the whole game. But again, we're winning. I'd rather win. Scrappy win. Okay, does it get a little bit monotonous at times? Yes, it does. But you can tell we miss Paik and Iwata and Williamson, I think, massively as well. I think they're obviously our 3 key players. And Laird scored. I mean, how happy was I? I mean, I've never jumped around. I think I jumped around like that last time when we won the cup.
I swear she at one point she was going to body surf down the Tilton. That's how much celebration.
Honestly, I'm so happy for him. And do you know what? I want him to get into those positions more often. Yep. I want him to be at the back post. I want him to come in. If Williamson comes in from the right, he should be there at the back post. And fair play to him. It was a decent finish. And the celebration for Arthur as well was fitting. So what a day. And we won and he scored. So my weekend was fine.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, no, it was. It was a good 2 results for us, wasn't it, Craig? What did you think, mate?
Yeah, I think, the Tuesday night was just a typical boring game where once we took the lead, we didn't look as though we were going to do anything. And then the foot off the pedal, conceded. And then it was like, oh, God, here we go. And I had a fear of penalties. I really did. But they still persevered. Got it, over the line at the end of the day, and a result's a result. But Saturday was just, I think we can expect more of that, unfortunately, in the second half of the season, because teams are going to come to St Andrews and basically put up a wall to stop themselves from conceding goals, and that's exactly what we saw from Exeter. I mean, I don't think in all the years that I've watched the club that I've been at St Andrews where a team has not had a shot on target. But not just that, not even touch the ball in the opposition's box. I mean, that's some going, that is. I mean, we were bad the other season, we were close to that, but I don't think we ever had a game where we had 0-0. So yeah, it was dull, was boring, but it's 3 points. And the way I kind of look at it is 1 goal, don't concede, 3 points, you win the league. It's as simple as that. And we are at some point, and I'll still stick by it, a team is still going to get a spanking. Don't know when it'll be, and I don't know who it'll be, but a team will get a spanking. But if we go and do every single game and we grind out a result, take 1-0s, I will take that any day of the week so that I'm celebrating come Easter. I don't want to be waiting until the end of the season. Want it all over and done with as soon as possible. I will say huge credit, though, to the Exeter fans. I thought the Stansfield shirt at the beginning was absolutely superb. And thanks goes out there to Suck and the members of the Birmingham City OSC that actually helped arrange that, get that into the stadium and ready for kick-off, because that was a fitting tribute to the whole of the Stansfield family. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we go on to some really tough games now. And do you know what? If we play like we did on Saturday and we scrape results in the next 3, then I would hope there would be nobody complaining, because we've got probably the 3 hardest games in the league to come. And this will be... I really believe that these 3 games will decide the title. I think it's as simple as that now. You know, we get through those and we get results with the games in hand. There then shouldn't be anything stopping us. And I think the good old juggernaut's beginning to gain a little bit of momentum now, and it's going to take some stopping.
I've said all along, I think we'll win it by double points. I think we'll win this league by double points. And I always say, don't I, it doesn't matter how you win. You know, that's what it's all about, is just getting them points on the board, that 3 points. And, you know, I don't care how we do it, as long as we do it. And even Pep Guardiola, before yesterday's games, before his team went out and won 6-0, said it in his interview. You know, he said it's just about winning the game. He said if players score, great. You know, I think it was about Erling Haaland after he signed his contract. Not to go off subject, by the way, but he just said, you know, as long as we go out there and win the game, that's all that matters. And that's right, isn't it, Alan? Did you come up, mate, on Saturday for the game?
I did, yes. And if I was a neutral, I'd have been pretty miffed about the Swindon and Saturday. But hey, who cares? We won.
Yeah.
I think looking at the fixtures, I think the good thing about the next 2 is neither of those teams can afford not to try and win. It's no point in them defending and getting a 1-1 or a 0-0 because they've got to catch us, and they must try and win. And I think that will, ironically, be work in our favour. This thrashing they're all expecting, it will either come in one of those games. And I fancy that, obviously, we've got Wickham at home at some stage. And I fancy that one because Wickham have got to come and give us a game. They can't sit back. And then once we get through that number of games where we play in the decent opposition and then we shrink back to go back to the lower ones, we can perhaps relax a bit and be a bit more ambitious. You know, we last, I don't know, 3 home games, we haven't conceded a goal, but we've only scored 3 goals in those 3 home games. And it's something's got to give. And it's I've got to be honest, it's getting a bit tedious, but you know, we've got to put up with it. And you know, we've been going 6 months now in this league, and our method, way of doing things is indisputably the right way of doing it. And if we don't give anybody a pasting between now and the end of the season, so be it. Things will change next season because teams will think, well, they won't come here not wanting to give us a game because they won't think of us as the same way as as this division do, and they will turn up and think things will be different. But it's cold, it's miserable. The train was packed with miserable Arsenal supporters, but I got home early and, you know, went to bed, put my electric blanket on, watched the highlights, and then went off to sleep and didn't wake up again till 12 the following day. It's hard work at the moment, but the rewards are worth it. Shall we put it that way?
Coming back onto the the big win though, I'd rather win 7 games, 1-0 than one game 7-0. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got 6 times the amount of points, haven't you, or 7 times?
Yeah. Well, I if you think of all the games where we've in the past, not this season, like we went to Stoke and stuck 7 up of them, and the following week I think we got a 0-0 draw at home, and you think we could have saved one of them goals for this week. Yeah. And I think when we won 7-1 at Oxford, we drew with Grimsby the following week at home.
Yeah.
And that's the way it is. And you're right. I'd rather the old saying 1-0 to the Arsenal. They survived like that. They won championships, FA Cups, European competitions by winning 1-0 all the time.
That season that we finished 9th in the Premier League under McLeish, we went, I think it was 12 games unbeaten. And I think we had about 8 or 9 1-0 wins that season as well.
West Brom got themselves promoted out of the Championship into the Premier League through 1-0 wins.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's the rule to the game, isn't it? If you don't concede, you can't lose. So, but I'll take them any day. Paul, you said it on a couple of occasions now, but and I'll be interested in people's thoughts on this. The only people now that can stop Birmingham, in my opinion, and you've said this yourself, is Birmingham.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think that's the only worry. And I don't think it will happen. I don't think Davis will let it happen. But if complacency does begin to kick in, then somebody could shock us. And like I say, I don't think Davis will let it. I think he'll still go into the dressing room and he would have still told them. I mean, first of all, you can tell, even going in 1-0 up at half time, that he was telling them that wasn't good enough, because the second half, we still came at them. And I think at the end of the game, he would not have mixed his words either, in terms of what was being said. It was nice to see some of the players coming back. See Bielik coming on after his injury was great. My only worry, Stansfield, for me, I still believe was carrying an injury. He still wasn't himself, and he was, at times was hobbling. And I think I'd rather be in a position that we hold back on him and get him 100% than risk, losing him again, but this time for a longer period. And it's a bit of a shock to hear, Iwata and Paik now out for a few weeks, Williamson out for that period of time as well. So this is really going to test our squad, but also the window's open. Do we think people will come in?
I think Gardner Hickman and Leonard were really good together. The jury's still out for me on Luke Harris and Scott Wright, I'll be honest. But hopefully they can improve if they're going to be playing regular. You do get momentum to be playing regular, and hopefully they can perform better than they did on Saturday, in my opinion, obviously. But and that's not criticising them too much. I'm prepared to give them time to bed in and come back from obviously his injury, Scott Wright, and if he can cement that shirt on the right until Keshi Anderson's fit, and then hopefully he plays as well that he gives Chris Davies a headache, and he can't put Keshi Anderson back in because he's that good. But Mark Meredith, welcome back, mate. What you been up to? Who are you?
I've had finished my 2-game suspension, haven't I? I'm back.
Did you get a fine as well, Mark?
Huh?
Did he fine you? Because
no, he hasn't sent me a fine yet.
Well, watch out, because make sure it's from Chris and not from Robe, because we know what it's like for trying to take things off people.
Yeah, no. I was on strike anyway. It's good. I'm wanting more pay, but he's not giving it me. No, my boys were over from England, so we spent a couple of weeks, just doing American things and whatever else. So that was fun. And then they were due to go back last Friday, and obviously the snow hit, so they were delayed then till the following Tuesday. So we had an extra 4 days extended trip, which was nice, but it's also difficult when you've obviously got everything else planned in your schedule as well, both sides. So they finally got home last Wednesday and that sort of stuff, and back to normal. But going on to the games, I got to echo the positive of 3 points on Saturday and then into the quarterfinal of the cup on last Tuesday. I think that's the main thing. Yes, it wasn't nice to watch. It was tough at times, and especially sitting at home watching it on the TV. I think that's just more difficult when you can switch it off if you really want to. But
you're a bit warmer, mate. You're a bit warmer.
No, yeah,
but that's it. Yeah, I can sit by the swimming pool and watch it, and I don't have to be sitting in the crowd in -2. But yeah, so that's the positive. I think going back to the Williamson you were just talking about with Harris, Harris again. I'm with you, Paul. Doesn't fill me with massive amounts of hope, but I think we miss Williamson because I think that he has the attributes to be a great number 10, doesn't he? Just his movement off the ball as well as on it. He can pass, he can score goals, he creates a lot of opportunities just from his movement away from the ball as well. So I think we will. I think that's the main miss for us right now, because I feel like Taylor Hickman and Leonard can come in and pretty much do a job that Paik and Iwata have left, even though we do miss their creativity and strength as well. But yeah, it, as you all said, it's for us now to lose. And I think that the nice thing is every time you listen to an interview with Davis, it's pretty much next game is the important one. He's always talking about that. He's not getting his ducks in a row too quickly. The next game's the one he needs to look at now, the Wrexham game. Once the Wrexham game's over, then we'll concentrate on Huddersfield and so on. So I think that's the right way of doing it. And I think he's getting the players ready for what will be a tough task on Thursday. I think Wrexham, as Alan said, Wrexham have to come at us now, because the positive about the weekend wasn't just our 3 points, it was the fact that Wrexham and Huddersfield dropped points as well. I know Wickham scored late on again, but, you know, at the end of the day, we want to be champions, but the top two are promoted. So if we can get a gap between that third and fourth, then, you know, pretty much then we can start to relax a little bit and enjoy the rest of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, obviously the guy towards the end as well that went in for the header with Lyndon Dykes, Vincent Harper. Good to hear that he's been released from hospital, and wish him a speedy recovery as well, because it didn't look that bad initially, did it, when it happened? And then it seemed to get worse as the time went on. You know, I think he was actually sat up, wasn't he, at one point, and then he was back down again. So it was quite worrying. It went on for a good sort of 10, 12 minutes, didn't it?
Huge thanks, I think, as well. And I think it's already come from Exeter, but it was our, physio and doctor that was on the pitch. It was a bit of a strange one, right? Because when it happened, like you say, it didn't look too bad. He sat up, and then all of a sudden, it's like their physio's running off, beckoning on ours, and it's like, what's going on here? And then next thing, he's having to lie back down, and brilliant from all of the people that supported him on the pitch. It was also, I think, a credit to the fans. The fact that they applauded him off afterwards as well. Again, goes to show that Birmingham City fans, despite some idiocy that does go on, are not the horrible people that people make us out to be. And actually, we stick together as a family. It's a footballing family. So yeah, I'm glad that he's back on the mend. But I will say, brilliant from our doctor and our physio, because that was just superb, the way that they handled that. And yeah, very, very, very glad that he's on the mend.
Yeah, absolutely. And last but not least, Mark Adams, give us your thoughts on Swindon and Exeter.
And like everyone said, there are two boring games. You can't dress it up any other way, can you? It was boring, but it was effective. I mean, like say under the McLeish promotion, that was a series of 1-0s, 2009. I've seen nothing, to be honest, Paul. It's no great shocks. I've seen nothing to suggest we won't be champions. No. And I think we'll do it with a few games spare, which will be nice. And of course, Wembley, I mean, everyone's wasn't overly fussed, but as the weeks go by, we're getting closer and closer to a Wembley trip as well, which is exciting. I mean, who knows? That could appeal to some potential signings. The thought of a trip to Wembley, you don't know. Not that I'm saying we'll sign a load, but if we do want to tweak it, that's another advantage, isn't it? But yeah, we're just flying, I mean, there's, again, on social media, some people have said, "Oh, we can't play like this next season. We'll get found out in the Championship." Let's get to the Championship first. Let's worry about that next. In
my opinion, we will need to recruit again. Get top six in that league as well when we go up next season. Then I do think we need. I think we do have players that are capable of playing at that level. Don't get me wrong, but we probably need another good 4 or 5 to improve certain areas of the team as well, in my opinion. And
to be honest, sorry, Paul. I was going to say a question for all of us and for everyone watching. I mean, we went up when we go up next season, would anyone take like a mid-table finish for the first season back?
Yeah.
No.
Would you take 12?
I want to go up again.
No. I don't get me wrong. I'd like to see us do a double promotion, but I think we've got to build the foundations of a team that's not just going to get into the Premier League, but is then going to sustain its position. Because you take Ipswich as the example. They're scrapping for their lives, and they haven't not spent money. But what they've got is the nucleus of the team that actually came up from Division 1 into the Championship and then Championship to Premiership. So they've tried it. That hasn't worked. I think, I agree with you, Paul. We need to get up there. We then need to strengthen. I wouldn't take a season to stabilise and then go for hell for leather. However, if we're in and around about it, then why not go for it? I know that Knighthead won't accept anything but trying to go back up. However, I think if they're being realistic, we're not in a position at the moment to do a double promotion. And if we were, happy days.
Why not?
We're going to have to spend. Why not?
Well, surely we've got to build another team to go up.
We've got to build a squad that's capable of getting us there.
This team.
I don't think Cochrane Clara, Pake, Stansfield, Williamson. There's 5. I think them 5 could potentially be Premier League players.
I agree with them being into that level.
Yeah.
But it's around 22 players realistically that are going to be in your squad. They've got to be good enough.
Yeah, that's what I just said. We'll have to improve certain areas of the team. And other players that we have could be good enough to come off the bench. I mean, Alfie May, for example, if we did get a striker that's kind of like, proven at a higher level, and Alfie May will be 32, 33 then, if he's coming off the bench, he could bang a few goals. He could do like what Kevin Phillips did in the Prem for us. So let's just wait and see. Watch this space. But I just think that it was a big statement of intent last transfer window. And I'll come on to this transfer window in a minute. I want to welcome, obviously, Grant Hanley and Phil. Sorry, what's his name? Phil Newman, isn't it?
Newman.
He's coming to us in July as well. He's signed a pre-contract agreement. So I think Grant Hanley is a solid signing. Experienced that obviously played in the Prem, played a lot of games in the Championship. So at the moment, we're obviously pitting our wits at a certain level. We're signing players that are far too good for this league. But then next season, there's no reason why we can't do the same thing in the Championship if we are able to spend. What we don't know is obviously what they have got to spend, what we are going to be able to spend. But
I think also the difference is that next season it will be totally different games.
Yeah,
we're not going. No one's going to be like scared of us if you think about it.
No. You're not going to have 70%.
Yeah, and I think that they will come at us, and it'll be more, like the Leeds before when it's been 5-4 and. Yeah. I just think that we can't just say, oh, this is just a team for League One, because actually I think it's got potential for higher. I think there are certain gaps that we need, but obviously we're not there yet. So we can say all this until we're actually promoted and it's there, and then hopefully the yellow line is on Sky at the top.
Yeah.
But obviously they are with Newman. I think Newman and Clara are going to be sensational next year, what I've seen of him and heard of him.
Yeah.
But again, we're building, we're finding these players that seem to be ready for the Championship. I think Williamson could play higher. Pake definitely could play higher.
Yeah.
But it's about filling in those little gaps that we need, like getting an extra left back, getting another winger, getting that extra striker in. Like there'll be certain things that they'll be looking at already, especially the pre-contracts. I think that'll be a must. I think I'll definitely be looking at this window for pre-contracts for next season.
So let's have a bit of a half-season review now then. So I'll ask to all our viewers now, and welcome to everyone, by the way, on the shout box. We will come on to you in a minute. Player of the season so far, I'll start us off. For me, it's Alex Cochrane every week and twice on Sunday. I just think the guy is better and better and better every time you watch him play. Alan, who's your player of the season so far? And obviously to everyone
else. I can't argue with that, mate. Absolutely. I agree 100%. He looks absolute quality. And one of the things I noticed, I watched the Leeds and Sheffield game, right? And they all try and play like we do, but they don't do it as well as us. No. Because 9 times out of 10, all the passes along the back eventually get oofed up the pitch by the goalkeeper because they can't get anywhere.
Yeah.
And Cochrane is our main release mechanism. We have a few passes back and the ball gets out to him and away we go. We get out of that block. And he's featured in that virtually every game he's played. Now, if you look on the other side, and I'm not knocking Claire's mate, he has the ability to do the same, but he doesn't always. Sometimes he's not. I mean, I'm not saying he gives the ball away, but some of his runs forward don't come to anything. Whereas Cochrane, I always feel something's going to happen when we go down that left, especially when we've got a winger in front of him. Something's going to happen. And I could watch that goal against Wrexham. Stonesfield scored forever. I mean, it was such a quality pass and finish. That was Premier League. Nobody in this division were going to defend that.
No, exactly. He did exactly the same for Djukovic as well, didn't he? In the Lincoln game, it was a carbon copy of the cross against Wrexham. But
yes.
The keeper tipped it over and made a good save that time.
Yeah.
But Claire, your player of the season so far?
I think I'll have to agree with you with Cochrane, but then I think Claire and Paik would be very, very close. I think Paik does a lot more off the ball as you think.
Yeah.
But I think Cochrane, he's probably one of the best left backs we've had for years.
He is, yeah.
I think he's up there with David Murphy and Granger, and I think the ball in. I think the one area I would definitely look at is obviously a striker, because I can't see Duke won't play next season, and we need someone who's quite tall, athletic, who can hold the ball up but also got a bit of pace. And I think if you then had him crossing that ball in each time, I think that we would get some goals, because he actually scares me a little bit of how good he is, because if he plays well next season, and we don't go up, a Premiership team will go after him. He would suit like a Brentford, I think. Yeah. Obviously, I'd love to keep him, but I think like a Brentford or even like a Newcastle or someone like that would be after someone like Cochrane, because his left foot is so good.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm hoping that next season, we'll be on the crest of a wave after this promotion and we can carry that on. But let's wait and see. Like as you say, let's get there first. Let's not go too far ahead of ourselves. Robe, who's your player of the season so far?
Oh, same Cochrane since day one. He's been absolutely. He hasn't put a foot wrong, and if anything, he seems to be getting better as well. I'd love to see him score his first goal. I really would. I think he's deserved it. But yeah, Cochrane by a mile for me.
Yeah, great.
I'm literally on the fence. Cochrane's in there, but also
got a fence in your bedroom.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I've got splinters in my backside at the moment.
What you been doing that?
It's the friction of rubbing backwards and forwards. Yeah. But still, Alfie May as well. So I it's really hard to call between, for me, those two, because Cochrane is the defensive workhorse who can whip in a ball, but Alfie May is your front workforce. He's off the ball. He's not always recognised, but take Saturday as an example. A lot of players would have just gone, we can't get to that ball. But he chased it down. Not only chased it down, whipped in that perfect ball for the goal.
Yeah.
So, I know I shouldn't have two, but I've got to go with Cochrane and May at the moment. It's just too close to call between the two of them.
Fair enough. Mark Meredith?
Cochrane, and then Claire. I agree with Claire as well, Clara.
Yeah.
When Claire said tall, quick and athletic, I thought she was talking about Robe.
That's when he's running away from the police. That's when you get to see his athleticism.
Got a lot of practice.
That's why he's always blue. He's always exhausted. It's all
Oh dear.
I noticed on the chat earlier, someone said, what about Bielik in midfield? And Don Kavanagh replied, yeah, he's got the same composure, strength and vision as Paul, and he's absolutely right. He meant to type Paik and he typed Paul. He's still right anyway.
I'm playing there. I'm not going to lie. If we're struggling the weekend, if we're struggling, he can play centre mid.
Yeah.
And I'm without Paik and Iwata, on the bench, if you've got Hanley who's going to be the person who comes on centre back, say, Bielik would be perfect to just slot in there. So he adds a bit more. He adds a bit of height, a bit of physicality in there as well. Because Leonard's got some sort of. He can pass a ball and he can also get us a goal.
Yeah, he's a good player, isn't he, Leonard, as well? Very good player. He's good on the ball as well. So very, very rarely wastes it, does he? But Chris, your player of the season so far?
Well, I'm going to go for Cochrane, but just to say that Clara is actually edging it in YouTube.
Is he? Okay.
Yeah.
Can't argue, can you?
Actually, by a few now, with Cochrane's second, and there's a nomination as well for Williamson as well. So.
Yeah. It shows you how far we've come, doesn't it? Because it wasn't too long ago that our player of the season only played half a season. And we.
I think the crazy thing is, Paul, that any of them could get it right now, and no one would be shocked, would they?
No. You could reel off, 4 or 5, and you couldn't have either of them. To be honest,
at the end of the season, we could be looking at a draw for your player of the season. We could go to the player awards, and there could actually realistically be numerous people that have all had the same number of votes. That that to me makes for good things, but also, that can lead to a few bad things as well. I don't want it to go to people's heads and stuff like that. I don't think it will again. I think it'll come back to where Davies is and how grounded he keeps people. Yeah. His comments, one comment that resonated for me at the weekend was the fact that, he goes on about looking at the next game, but also they said in the interview, how does it feel still to be top of the table, be up there 2 clear points? And he turned around and he said, I don't look at the table, I just look at what the next game is. For a manager not to look at the table, that drills down into the players. So all they're looking to do is go out and get that result. That came across in the interviews the weekend. All they wanted to do was get the result and get it for Arthur. That's brilliant, because to get that mentality installed in a player, and every player that turns out, is a credit to the management team. My fear is not players going. My fear is him. He's becoming now a noticeable person when it comes to being a leader and being a manager. And, people are going to start looking and are going to think to themselves, if our manager goes, who could be next? And I think he's still got a lot of learning, but there's still teams that are going to look at him and think to themselves, what can we do to bring him in? And look at Spurs. Spurs have not been the same team since he left. And football, as they're calling it, to me, is now beginning to show how much they are missing Davies. Because I think he was the linchpin and he was the coach. He was the person getting that team doing the stuff last season. You can't see it now. And even the players seem to be a bit disheartened by it. But yeah, my fear is him. I'd want the club to tie him down to a long-term contract to try and sway people away from it. But also, let's take this as a huge positive. If somebody comes sniffing around our manager because he is so good, that's a credit to the club as well.
I'm surprised if he doesn't happen.
Has a manager ever gone from League One to the Premier League, to a Premier League job?
Good question.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's a good question, actually.
I can't think of one off the top of my head. So,
if I was him, though, if I was Chris Davies, if you look at our owners and you look at Levy, who would you rather work for?
Oh, yeah. Any day of the week, you'd be going with United.
Exactly. So, again, even if you... Do you know what I mean? And they're more likely going to go for a bigger name, aren't they? Because they're going to go for someone proven but they've got loads of injuries anyway. They've got loads of first teamers out. So
yeah, they're missing loads of key players, aren't they?
Yeah.
I'll just say on the managerial front as well. Good luck to Tony Mowbray at West Brom. I know they're rivals and everything else, but it's fantastic to see him back in the managerial seat, and I'm glad that his health is good enough for him to be there. And not just short term, but to go in and sign a 2.5-year contract shows his statements of intent. So good luck, Tony, at West Brom. Here's to us meeting next season.
Yeah, it's a shame at the time. He was perfect for us when he came, wasn't he? And it's a shame that it had to end the way it did. And there's no way we'd have got relegated if that hadn't happened to him. But
we'd have stayed up. He'd have found a way of keeping us up.
Oh, God, yeah. But, things do happen for a reason, don't they? And we are where we are now, and we've got the players we've got. And, I think we're sitting quite pretty at the moment, looking good, aren't we? So, but yeah, last but not least, goal of the season. I think I was going to say goal of the season, but Stansfield at Barnsley away probably is the comfortable winner of that, is he? Or we got any other?
Dykes FA Cup goal.
Dykes FA Cup.
Who, sorry?
The Dykes FA Cup one last week was probably better than Stansfield.
Oh, come on. That was a cracker.
I'd still stick with my headed goal at Wrexham.
I didn't know you scored out.
Cochrane cross and
I've scored.
I've got to admit, though, one of the ones that I would say is the Williamson goal at Wickham.
Yeah.
I was literally right behind it, and it was like, right, we're ready for this. We've got a good one here, and considering it was like bouncing around, and that one always reminds me.
We're talking about solo goals there for all of them, but actually, there's a lot of our goals that have come from fantastic team play. So the goal at Wigan, ball from the midfield over the top, down to Laird and his cross across. that's just general great football, and those should never be rolled out either. That again is so tough to call, and I'm hoping we'll see a few more spankers before the season's out as well. So it's going to be ridiculously hard to call this,
You did say spankers, didn't you?
I did say spankers.
Sorry, I had a blip in the ear.
Watton against Wrexham as well.
Yeah, he hit that, didn't he? Just flew in.
He Watton against one against Bolton as well, when he volleyed it on the edge of the box first time. That was a scrap.
Goodness.
You contend.
What about Keeler at Charlton?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, maybe there is a debate to be had then. I thought Stansfield comfortably, personally, but yeah, I forgot about. I'll be honest. I forgot about Doxy's goal.
Oh, Doxy's goal for me.
But how nice is it that we're actually not talking like last season? It was Jay Stansfield's our best player, and that's the best goal. We didn't score many, so it's actually quite refreshing that. And if anyone plays really well for the next few weeks, your mind will change.
Yeah.
And that's so refreshing to see, because normally we're like, oh, we've scored about 30 goals. Half of them aren't great.
Yeah, let's hope that there's plenty more goals like this for us to see anyway coming up, especially at home as well. So
I'll tell you what.
This time last year, when we was having the goal of the month, there's some months we've difficulty finding any goals to show. Now it's complete. Although we look, although we don't get 3s and 4s and 5s, we look at our goal scoring record, and there's only one team I think scored more, and our goal difference is the best in the league.
Yeah.
So it's not we're not failing to score, we're just scoring enough. And if you get a 2-goal difference every week, it soon gets that goal difference up. When you don't concede, can you think back to the start of the season when we were all going, this plan ain't going to work, we keep giving soft goals away and blah 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 blah. Now, I don't even. I obviously I've got to catch my train, and that injury stretched the match to another 15 minutes, and I couldn't. I tried to stay as long as I could. I had to go, but I didn't go thinking, well, I didn't go. They might score. No, it was just, I've had enough of this. I'm going. They were never going to score until we'd have played till Tuesday.
Yeah, I think a big difference in us sort of, conceding a lot less goals has been the change in goalkeeper as well, hasn't it? And
absolutely, yeah.
All credit to Ryan Allsop. He's, if he'd just probably started the season, he'd probably be, he's in with the shape of player of the season as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
Because he's been solid for us, really good.
And I think, to be fair to the Irish fella, when he's come back in,
he's done all right.
He looks more assured than he did when he was the number one.
Yeah,
and I think his performance has increased.
Yeah,
quite a bit. And that's comforting as well. That's what you need. If somebody is making errors and they come back in the side, you want them to not make those errors, don't you? That's the nature of a coach's job. Stop doing that, son. Do this.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, there's a stat that I didn't think again. We talk every week, we seem to come up with a stat that you'd never put against Birmingham. Pete Taylor, our goal difference is the 4th best over the top 4 leagues.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus, it's ridiculous. We seem to be setting these new records all the time. 14 unbeaten. We're one off matching that record that's held at the moment in terms of home games. And I think we'll get 15 if not more. It's just the way things are. Our defence has tightened up since the Shrewsbury defeat. Totally agree, Paul Lilly. I think that was actually, I think, a kick up the backside to make them realise this is what's happened. But a lot of that I still come down to 2 reasons. The first one was new manager bounce for Shrewsbury, but also the comment from Bielik at the time. That fired people up and made them go that extra mile as such when we played them.
But Davies has made a difference, I think, with there. I think having the left side as left-footed and the right side right-footed, it really does balance it out. And I think if we're going to do any business in this transfer window, sign Gardner Hickman and Davies.
Yeah.
and tie them down, because we're so used to being that team that, you know, people go on loan to do really well, then go somewhere else. Why can't it be us? Because, I mean, Gardner Hickman, you could play him in goal and he'll do a job.
Yeah, he's one of them, isn't he? Yeah, he's one of them versatile. He's such a good player, isn't he? He's really good with the ball and strong. And, yeah, I like him a lot. I do.
I mean, coming into the cup games as well. I mean, you know, we said it on our group chat, but why can't we have an upset for once? You know, Newcastle won't fancy coming to us with, you know, packed out blues, confidence flowing. So I'd love us to cause an upset for once.
Shut your ears, Al. I'm shut your ears a minute, Al. I'm glad it's 5:45, but it's going to be dark. It's going to be dark, and when it's dark, St Andrews is twice the volume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In front of the cameras and everything. Yeah, I'd love us.
Everyone's been in the pub for 4 or 5 hours, and now I think it's going to be great.
And the Geordies. Can't knock the Geordies for creating an atmosphere. In fact, I think it makes for such a great game, because you've got two sets of fans who are incredibly passionate about the clubs that they support. And that'll be the just one part of it on the day. And we said it last week, but we do hope that they pull out a full strength side. You know, we've got to test ourselves against teams like this just to see how far we go. However, if we need to make changes to prevent the injuries, or as people are coming back from injuries, you know, on that game, for example, if Williamson and Paik were just coming back, I don't think I'd risk them to start off with. I think I'd rather them start and come off the bench. Don't risk another injury kicking in. And same as Stansfield, he just wasn't right on Saturday. So I just think if we need to rest him, we need to rest him.
Do we think spent a lot of years, obviously, in the Championship over the last decade or so? Do we think there's a big gap between League One and the Championship, a bit like the Prem and the Championship, or is it not as big? Or what do we?
Yeah.
What do you think there?
I think definitely. I think it's the mentality, and I think it's for the players and the fans of League One are totally different than the Championship.
Yeah,
I think we've never really been a team where everyone's gone, oh, look how much money they've spent. Look at this. Oh, we did really well. The fact that Exeter City fans thought they did well and they didn't even have a shot on target or get into our 18-yard box.
Yeah.
And it's like there's like a jealousy or just like a bit of, look, there comes Birmingham City. It's like what Leeds used to get in the Wolves and Southamptons. And it's like, it's different to the Championship in general. I think, like, how often have we said they park the bus?
Yeah.
And they do, because if they get a draw, I mean, like Mansfield celebrated literally like they'd won the league.
Yeah.
And Northampton, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, and like Swindon was so excited that they'd got a goal. And I don't know, I just think that the mentality is a big shift, I think, from Championship to Premier League. I mean, look, if you look at the bottom 3 or 4, they're all the Championship teams that went up in the Premier League. Yeah. I think it's a golf, and I think money does have a massive part to play as well. Yeah, and also, if you're in League One and you go to some of these grounds, I mean, it must be a shock to some players, especially the international ones. I bet they turn up and go, where are we? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I've not seen the bottom side of the Championship, but are the 3 or 4 teams that went up from League One in the bottom sort of 4 or 5 of the Championship as well? Do we know who went up?
I can't remember who went up.
Portsmouth went up, didn't they?
Yeah, they're bottom.
They're bottom, yeah.
There you go. Who else? I don't even know who else went up, to be honest. I can't remember.
Hi, Gemini. The football transfer window's open. How are my team's stats looking?
Well, your team definitely has a lot of star power.
Do you think we're going to have a good season?
It's going to come down to consistency and a little bit of luck on your side.
I'll let you know if we win.
I'll be keeping an eye on the scores.
Yeah, me too.
Now we're talking. Transfer to Google Pixel 9 with Gemini Live today. Sequences shortened. Gemini Live available for ages 18+. Internet required. Results are illustrative. Check responses for accuracy. Feature and account compatibility limitations apply.
Yo, UK! At BetMGM, we give our players sports betting entertainment like nobody's business. Football, horse racing, darts, boxing, tennis, golf, NFL, NBA. You name it, we got it. Offers? You know it. Bet £10 and get £40 in free bets. BetMGM, it's showtime.
New customers only. Exclusions apply. 18+. Please gamble responsibly.
I'll have a look.
Derby.
Yeah, Derby.
Derby, bottom 5, aren't they?
Yeah.
Are they bottom 5? Yeah.
Yeah.
It tells you, doesn't it? It's a similar story, isn't it, between League One and the Championship to the Championship and Premier League. So
your bottom three of the Championship are Plymouth. They're bottom and rock bottom. Well, they're 5 points behind now.
They're gone.
So congratulations, Wayne Rooney, on winning Manager of the Month. Then Luton.
That's Luton, yeah.
You know, and Portsmouth. But then the bottom half is incredibly close. So
Oxford went up as well, didn't they? So they're 15. Yeah, they've done well because they've got Rowett, who's used to this, isn't he? Like, if you're going to put him anywhere, you put him for Newry, you know, and Derby. So they're not setting the world alight.
No, Rowett started really well at Oxford, hasn't he?
The one thing I've noticed, though, is, and I suppose this comes down to your players, but there are teams that do try and play football in our division, you know, and we're not saying they're not capable of doing it. It's just that the caliber of player that we've got is much better than what they have. So when it comes to it, they can play football, but we're just reading it 30 seconds quicker and things like that. So there is this, you know, it was described to me by the chap that sits next to me at the game, and he said, last time we were in this division, it was a division where basically teams got the ball and just hoofed it. There was never this, I'm going to try and play football and knock it about. It was just clear your lines, hoof it forward, get a goal. Whereas we do see teams that are trying to play football, and I think that also comes across in the Championship. There are teams that do try and play football. It's not always those teams that end up being promoted, though. So you've got to have a mixture of everything. You've got to sometimes win dirty and win horrible.
Yeah.
We are getting into that habit now. And something we have missed.
And that will do us great. Like, I know that like Ipswich didn't do very well yesterday, but they've got a bit of a side to them. And we've always lacked that grit and that, you know, with the Bakunas that would jog back and Dembele's that didn't really care or sauntered round, or the Hogans. These lot, I know that they would do anything.
Yeah.
They've got that passion, they've got that fight, because now they've been in League One. Like Craig's just said, they're going to they've had people kicking them. Like, I think like at the Exeter game kind of showed the other side of League One. They're going to stop you however they can.
Yeah, absolutely. Good evening to Jay from the Boy in Blue. I believe he's watching us on YouTube, and Nick as well from Cat in Blue. So two good lads there that I've spoke to myself. I saw Jay actually at Wigan as well. Good evening to you. Any comments, Chris, or questions for us on there on YouTube?
There's one here. TGH and Ben Davis. I'd signed this January.
Yeah.
I don't think there's an option to buy TGH. I don't know about Davis, but he should be signed. There's quite a few there. I prefer they didn't play a full side. Isaac can stay on the bench. Thank you.
Newcastle, and me as well.
Yeah.
On Facebook, you got a few there as well. There's Tony Sewell has said, we give the opposition so little time on the ball that our keeper doesn't hardly have the chance to be the best and be tested. And that's very true. You know, Chris Lloyd has said he loves Bielik. We've been solid at the back since Bielik has been out of the starting 11, so it shows the strength in depth across the team. At the start of the season, this is from Ian Clayton, at the start of the season, I said we needed relegation, but it felt at some stages that he was lying to himself. But the longer the season has gone on, he actually believes that we needed the relegation, and the reality check was imminent. And I think that actually sums up the way a lot of fans have thought.
I said exactly that at the time, didn't I?
And finally, Pete Taylor has said, breaking news, Rooney's in talks to be a pundit on Match of the Day. He's going to get him relegated to BBC Two.
And another very important comment on YouTube from Toby P. He says, Mark Meredith doesn't have a clue.
Oh, right.
That's just my son. He's all right. Leave him
I know.
alone.
I thought it might be. What's on that?
Yes, he is. You're right.
I think it was some of those pubs and clubs you were taking them to, Mark. It opened their eyes up a little bit too much.
Yeah. The pole dancing certainly tips them over, I think.
Yeah. Do we know when we last conceded a goal at home?
Was Was it Northampton?
It was, Claire, yeah. That was
yeah.
2 months
That's
ago.
got quick for me. I'll take
Yeah,
that.
Cool.
Normally I'm sat here not knowing what's going on because we talk about 1985 or something.
We're going to come on to that.
Just talking about the Ben Davies situation. He's on loan. We've got the next bloke on the books away on loan at Blackburn. We've brought another centre half in on loan, and we've got a pre-season signing to come in next year. Right now, I agree that with everybody that Davies deserves to be here full time. But if you're going to bring somebody in like Newman, whose place is he's a left-footed player as well? Whose place is he going to take? Now, suddenly we've gone from getting rid of centre halves to collecting them like, Kellogg's cornflake boxes.
And he's only here for the end of the season, and I then generally think Sanderson will sign for Blackburn.
Yeah, so I think Dion finished.
Dion will not wear a blue shirt again.
No.
That's fair enough. But I'm talking about the Davies. What are we going to sign him and then not play him next year, or are we going to let his loan deal run out and say thank you very much? I mean, Rangers would have him back tomorrow if they could. I'm just trying to put out there the different possibilities. There's nothing cut and dried about him. His play is worth a permanent contract. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But if we're bringing in other people, why are we doing it? Why did we bring in this bloke from Norwich on a 6 month? He's not on loan, is he? You're right. He's on a 6 month contract, so he's going to go at the end of the season anyway. What are we doing here?
I think he's there for his experience, to be honest. I mean, he is a solid centre half.
Yeah.
When you look on his Wikipedia, it actually says that he's a right back as well. He can play right back.
Yeah.
He's got the experience of teams being promoted. He's great in the dressing room. He's got a head on his shoulders for the experience. In all honesty, do you know what? He might only play a couple of games. He might come into the cup squads. That's where I think you'll see him a little bit more. But he's there for me, just from an experience point of view. I think he's
there to get us over the line, isn't he?
Yeah, to give us that extra little bit.
Yeah,
it's back up, really, isn't it? If you think about it, we've got Clara and Davis right now that play. Bellick's just coming back from injury. We let Sanderson go. We haven't really got another centre back.
We've got Hanley, haven't we?
Stansted can play there, can't he? Hanley's just come in, but I think Hanley's probably come in as the backup now. Sanderson's left. He replaced Sanderson because Sanderson was ready to move on and went on loan. So
I think, judging by the recruitment so far, last window, I'm happy just to sit back and let them get on with it and see how we go. I think they've certainly made more good signings than bad, haven't they?
They might pull another rabbit out the hat as well before this window's closed.
I love another winger.
You get this feeling, don't you?
Crying out for a winger.
Yeah.
Like literally, I think Hansen.
He's hit and miss, hasn't he?
I think if we could keep him fit for like at least 10 games in one go, he would be incredible for us. Like Anderson, he disappeared off the face of the earth. He's injured, but we never know exactly what's wrong with them. But I think obviously you got Wright. I think Wright's better coming on as more of an impact. Like Yokoyama is more of an impact. But I do think we need somebody who could probably left foot or something like that, who could cut in.
Yeah. I'd like a good right. That'd be my choice as well. Claire, a good right winger. Somebody. I'm talking if they've got the money, spend it now while we can in this league, and get somebody in that can terrify left backs at this level, and then move on and grow with the team. A bit like Stansfield the other side, and Williamson.
Or again, just get someone on a 6 month contract, or get someone on loan, or I don't know how many loans we've got left, but there must be somebody out there that's not playing.
No,
give them a chance, even if it's a championship team, or look at the Premier League and the youngsters.
Yeah, fringe players for the Premier League teams are the ones to look at. I don't want to prove a point and get an opportunity. Bill Mintz has made a great point. Claire, obviously, we know that you'll be in and around these, but what he said is there's only one sad thing in this league, and that's that our last few games, when we play away from home, we could well seal promotion at one of them, but only have 700 or 1,000 fans because of the terrible, or I'll replace the word, allocations. And that is so true, but I know the club worked very, very hard at trying to arrange different things. I put it out there now that if we was at an away game and could clinch promotion, I'd love nothing more than to have things happen at St Andrews. Big screens, we've got the fan park, we could utilise that. That's 1,000 people, but why can't we use other areas? Do you know what I mean? You just imagine the party that could happen at that occurring, because you know it's going to happen at the home games. You know there's going to be celebrations, but I'd love us all to be together as close as possible to have something in and around that as and when it happens. You know, we need to celebrate together.
I think it's hard because, sorry, Craig, I do think it's difficult after going to some of the grounds. You do think they can't physically fit many more of us in.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons why, me and my mum will say this all the time, is literally we spent years and years and years going, just in case we ever go down, we need to go to the away games. And I think that it's really difficult, like Wrexham's ground, where they put the away fans, it's this little, we're like up the top. It's nothing. And literally you can't physically fit more in. And do you think Wrexham want 2,000 of us going against them? No, they don't. No. Stevenage is tiny. So Stevenage is like, you probably get like 1,000 tickets. And this is the thing. 13 away games didn't sell out last season. And I think I can't wait for next season to be back in the Championship, because I'll expect every single week we sell out, like Leeds do. Like some of these other teams do, because now that's the minimal expectation because of all the stuff that's happened this year. Obviously, I'm lucky that I can go, but I just think that it's really hard. Obviously, we'd love more fans there, but when you can go, like Barnsley was great, Wigan was great, there'll be more, but they're not going to give us loads and loads and loads because they don't want us to outnumber theirs. Good. I mean, Swindon, we could have filled their ground 4 times over, and then but they're not going to give us loads when they're only just about filling half a stand. So, but I do agree, Craig, to be fair.
It's time for the fun stuff then, is it? Would you say now, Chris? Should we do the
can I just get this question in, because I think Craig will have something to say on this. For the panel, last night we spoke about whether the club should communicate more with the fans in terms of injuries, etc., to give us a better picture or more reassurance. What do we think about that?
Well, they never will do that because the manager's interviewed 2 days before the game, and they always ask this question, how's the injuries? And it's, I'm not telling you because the opposition are listening, and if we haven't got X, Y, and Z, I don't want them to know. Equally, if we have got X, Y, and Z, and they think we haven't, I don't want them to know that either. So you're not going to get any clear feedback on injuries or team selection or anything. And at 2 o'clock when they put the team sheet in, you get to know.
And I agree with that as well, do you?
Pardon?
I agree with that as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You don't want to splatter it everywhere, do you?
Yeah,
really?
I don't think we're privy to that information, honestly, in this game, and nobody is, apart from the manager, and even the players don't find out half the time until either the night before or the day of the game. So why should the fans?
I think for me, the only time he's ever done that is obviously with the bad injuries like Buchanan, and he's obviously started on that.
Even then, we're still not sure exactly what he did. We said a knee injury, so we've all guessed ACL.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We never actually got told it was an ACL.
No. Yeah, it would give the opposition an advantage knowing that. So say Jay Stansfield's injured and he's not playing, then it gives them chance to prepare a couple of days for the game without Jay Stansfield. So I think we're doing the right thing there, not sort of letting on that information. But Chris, you play for. Sorry, go on.
I was just going to say on that as well. We're talking now just about purely the injuries, but in terms of the overall communication, if that's what the question's about, I don't know what else the club can do. I think their communication has been absolutely superb, and that whenever we've needed to know something now, we get it. We don't hear it on the grapevine.
Yeah.
We're not hearing stuff in the Birmingham Mail before the club announce it. We're not seeing stuff on Sky before the club announce it. And actually, it's in the club's interests to communicate more with us because of the contract that they've signed regarding social media posts and interactions. So the more that they do, the more they get viewed, the more they get liked, the more money we get. So actually, they're doing the right things at the moment. And I totally agree with everybody. As far as the injury concerned, if it's long-term, we'll know. If they're short-term, they're not going to tell us because they don't want people who they know listen to find out what's going on. And hey, they wouldn't be doing their jobs if they wasn't looking and probing for these different things. But Chris Davies has a great way of getting around it. You know, whenever what's going on with the injuries, oh, well, we don't know at the moment. We'll keep you posted. And it's that kind of, I'm just going to send you to the left field, you know, simple as that. I don't want to tell you, but I'm not going to be nasty about it or horrible. But I mean, communication overall is fantastic at the moment.
Yeah, I heard that as a question just about the injuries, though, not the overall, you know, fan experience, I'll call it. I think the overall fan experience now from these owners is second to none. It's like night and day to what we had before, isn't it?
It's better than that, you know. You can't beat it, can you? I mean, that really is as simple as that. And I think, you know, going back on your Garry Cook comments at the beginning, Jeremy Dale, you know, Jeremy Dale was fundamental behind Knighthead coming into our club. He is a fan as well, which I think people, you know, the Mail may not know this, but, you know, Garry Cook was renowned for saying I'm a Birmingham fan and everything else, but Jeremy Dale's in that away end with the fans all the time. Jeremy Dale made a promise. So on Friday evening, there was a charity event run by the Harborne Official Supporters Club where they got together to raise money for the foundation for BCFC, but also there's the Stansfield Foundation. And he said that he would turn up as a guest. Now, even though he'd gone through all of that rigmarole the day before and people were worried he wouldn't go, he still went. And, you know, he was as open as anything with everybody on that evening. So Jeremy Dale, for me, is a great fit.
Yeah.
He may not have the footballing experience and knowledge of running a club, but his knowledge and experience of being a CEO in really large corporations is fantastic. And good luck to him, because I really hope, and I know, Paul, you agreed as well, but I hope he gets it permanently. I think we'll be on the lookout. I'm not going to lie. I think they'll be looking, but I really do hope he is given a chance and can shine.
I think for me, if he's got the right people working for him, which he has on the football side, a good CEO can drive any ship. And I think, you know, it's the same as a good salesperson can sell anything, isn't it? You know, if you're a good leader, you can lead anything. You know, so yeah, and he'll get the knowledge obviously as the time goes on. But I think as a business person, Jeremy Dale he's outstanding, isn't he? He's worked for Microsoft, he's worked for Apple, he's worked for some massive organisations, and there's no reason. You know, there's obviously a reason why he's done that, isn't there? You know, so you don't just walk into them jobs, do you?
And he listens to the fans. He is on social media quite frequently, and he does listen and he does take on board the comments that are put in there. And you know what? I think there's a lot of people at the club that we don't realise. They're all across social media, and we might not see them as their proper names, you know, and everything else, but they certainly listen and they certainly take on board what everybody says.
Yeah,
it's continuity, isn't it?
Yeah,
you want to keep that continuity.
Yeah. Alan, did you watch the women yesterday?
I did not, because try as I might, it was advertised as being on. I couldn't find it on YouTube. Every time I dialed in and tried to get it, I got last September's match. So no, I didn't. I have seen the highlights this evening, and some excellent goal scoring, and obviously I know they're bottom of the league, but a 3-1 win away is excellent, and I think we gained a point on the rest of the opposition. So, yeah, great.
I
just wish they'd make it easier for you to follow the women.
And just to clarify that, Al, It's actually a stipulation of the Women's Championship. It is a rule that says that they cannot broadcast the games when you are the away team. So Birmingham can't stream under the league rules that day. It's down to the home team as to whether they do it or if they have a service provider as well that actually does cover those different things. And the cost of actually streaming a game is substantial. So when Birmingham are doing it, and they're doing it on YouTube or just across the Blues site itself, that's at a cost, and it really is a big cost in comparison to what's there. But the other thing is, we need to encourage the fans back down to watch the games. We had Bromsgrove, people from Bromsgrove going to the game. There were people from Portsmouth at the game as well as Barry and the team that go from Redditch to every single game. So we're getting more fans travelling away when we can, but they can't broadcast them, unfortunately.
Well, just let me say, mate, that I saw an advert, I don't know, it might have been from the BBC, that said that there would be 2 games this weekend broadcast on YouTube, 2 games from the championship.
Yep.
And I couldn't find either of them. Number 3, you say, well, that might, it's 80 miles from here to Portsmouth, and I could have gone, but nobody would tell me where the game was. I know, it wasn't played at Portsmouth; it was played somewhere else. So, they've got to be more publicity aware.
They are, Al. And this is a conversation that I've been having an awful lot because the women's game doesn't get the airtime it should across all of the areas. Right, we do absolutely loads on here, but other groups don't give them the airtime that's required. And in fact, we're not good enough as fans either at publicising the different stuff that happens. So if we take the game, right, there was a constant flow of updates coming from the club. That's all they could do based on, like I say, the fact that they couldn't transmit it. But they gave the updates. I was constantly putting those out to people so that they could see what was going on. We have the highlights. They're great. But the other thing is the fact, this is an away game, but at a home game, we should be down there supporting them. The ladies' team need us as much as the men's team do, if not greater, because there's only one spot, and we're currently occupying that spot. We want to stay there. Now, this weekend is a massive, massive game. It's against Bristol City, so it's BCFC versus BCFC. But Bristol are only 3 points behind us. They can go top of the table if they beat Birmingham and the other results don't go their way and stuff like that. So this is key this weekend.
Yeah,
I'd just ask everybody if you can get down. I know normally there is a men's away game where it's followed by a ladies' home game. This weekend, there is no game for the men. It happens Thursday. So if you can get yourself down to St Andrews on Saturday, £8 for an adult, £2 for...
It's on Saturday?
Sunday, sorry. Not Saturday.
Okay.
Sorry, my fault there. But 2:00 Sunday. It's £8. It's £2. We're taking part in the trial. So it might be just something small. But actually, for the first time across the 2 divisions, the Women's Premier League and the Championship, we are one of only a few clubs that are trialling the fact you can have a drink in the stadium. This is a first for the club. It's not about encouraging people to come down and get bladdered watching a game of football, but it's something to be part of, something to be involved. And look, we need to get behind them. We need to get behind the ladies as much as we possibly can. When I look at YouTube, which I do when I'm down, I'm watching the game, and then I look at the YouTube viewing figures. All right, there was around, I think at one point, 1,400 people watching the game. And some of those will be away fans. But those that are Birmingham fans, get your backsides down to the ground. Come and enjoy it down there. Help them, because it makes a massive, massive difference. And look, we all need, if we can, to come up with ideas of how what would persuade you to go down to a game? You know, and I know it's not going to float everybody's boat, but come the end of the season, how great would it be to be at St Andrews to watch the men's team be promoted, but also be down St Andrews to watch the ladies' team promoted? A double celebration. It'd be absolutely amazing. And, you know, let's get behind them and do it.
Totally agree.
One of the things they pride themselves at Nighthead people is their publicity. You know, they get Birmingham City's name. Now, you just described to me it's a key game. Trying out the drinking business. Now, if I lived in Birmingham, that would be enough for me. Oh, I've got to go and see this game. If I don't see another one, this one's the one I got to see because it's the best two teams in the league, blah, 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 blah. And it's a situation that I don't want to miss. But I guarantee you that it gets very little dynamic coverage on the website. All these tweets and Twitters will be not about it, but it should be every day something, blah, blah, Blues face this, blah, blah, blah. Is so-and-so going to be fit? Is this going to be fit? You know, or just throw stuff out there to get people's attention. And it's only that, to me, only the one fact that it's such a key game would get me there. But I need to know that. And I'm not going to know that by one announcement. It's going to be plastered everywhere.
So there's the difference, and this is perhaps where people get it a little bit confused. Birmingham City Football Club across social media, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. That's the men's. There is a specific Birmingham City Women group as well. So to get the information, sign up for both. And again, it comes down to this social media interaction as part of the contract, because if they did it all via one route, you only get one hit. They do it via two routes, they get two. So it's two linkages into the club. So to anybody that's listening, I will put the addresses up to sign up to. But on Facebook, look for Birmingham City Women. On X, look for Birmingham City Women. They are the ones with the blue ticks, right? Ignore all the silly ones that come up because people, for some strange reason, think it's highly amusing to try and copy people and spread rubbish. But there's so much that's gone on there. Like, you know, Saturday, we knew about them travelling down to Portsmouth. We knew about Lily Agg, unfortunately, getting the ACL injury. And get well soon, Lily. I know the operation went well. So get well soon, and we hope to see you back on that pitch, what will be now next season. But that's out there, and the promotion of the games is also out there. It's the first pop-up that appears. So if you've got pop-up blocker put on your internet pages, you will never see it when you go onto the Blue site. But any other time, it'll be popping up. Don't forget to get your tickets. Click here. Look at our stuff. So we got Stephen who does the write-ups. There'll be an article going on about yesterday's games at some point. But again,
I read them all, mate. I read them all.
They're good.
So,
well, tell where was the game played yesterday?
Portsmouth.
Exactly.
Do you know,
it was played on some non-league ground somewhere, and I could look on the fixture list, and it will sell, you know, the Dairy Queen so and so stadium, which is probably somewhere like, I don't know, Waterlooville. In fact, I think that's where it was. But if it said Waterlooville and then the name of the ground, that would suffice. It gets the sponsor's name on, and it tells me and other people where the game's been played. I would have gone all the way to Portsmouth. I mean, I actually went to see Blues play Bristol City when I was working in Bath, right? And I went to the wrong ground. I eventually found this place at half time. And I followed the information that was on the Bristol City Women's website, right? It's such a ground, blah, blah, blah. And I got the old sat nav out, and it was nowhere near. I was a half an hour's drive away from where I should have been.
But isn't there like on like WhatsApp? Isn't there a group that goes to all the women's games, Craig?
There are. There's so.
Because you can just get in touch with them because they all got down there.
I've got to read this comment out from Sadie Young, and it's bittersweet. So my little boy's starting to get into the Blues now, but since COVID, he really struggles with crowds. I'm going to start taking him to the women's games to get him used to the stadium and get him involved. Which is a great idea.
Yeah.
Do you know, this is the other thing. There's so much that we do now to get the kids involved as well down there. You know, the flag bearers, the mascot packages. You can't buy a mascot package now for the rest of the season. They've sold out. But there's opportunities galore with other areas. So, you know, look out for the different opportunities, the competitions. And I'll take on board everything you've done there, and I will feed into people around. Let's get it advertised where they're going to be playing and stuff like that, especially when it's away from home.
If you don't know where
it's there for the women, yeah.
If you don't know where it is, you can't go, can you? No. So, you know, information's
Flash it up on the screen on Saturday afternoon. You know, when you've got a captive or you've got 25,000 people, and if you get.
Hi, Gemini. The football transfer window's open. How are my team's stats looking?
Well, your team definitely has a lot of star power.
Do you think we're going to have a good season?
It's going to come down to consistency and a little bit of luck on your side.
I'll let you know if we win.
I'll be keeping an eye on the scores.
Yeah, me too.
Now we're talking. Transfer to Google Pixel 9 with Gemini Live today. Sequences shortened. Gemini Live available for ages 18+. Internet required. Results are illustrative. Check responses for accuracy. Feature and account compatibility limitations apply.
10% of them, you've got a big crowd, haven't you?
Yeah. Should we move on to the fun stuff then, Chris? We've got a couple of quick.
Well, okay, can we do the we'll do the Barnets first, okay?
Yeah, go on.
I've flashed them up now. I think one's quite easy.
Okay.
I'll be shocked if anybody on the panel can't get that one. Number two.
Oh, and I think I know number two.
Really?
Show us. I haven't seen him.
I know. There's such a lag on the for some of these connections, you know, because there we go.
Yeah. Well, you are looking on a Nokia 310. So.
I think I might have them both.
Jermaine.
Number two is Jermaine Pennant.
Jermaine Pennant.
Can I tell you now? It is not Jermaine Pennant.
Let's have a look.
Is it grey?
Just again, look, who is that phone?
Have a look again.
I'm gonna get you.
Did they play around the same time?
There might have been a crossover, yeah.
Is it grey?
No. Come on, anybody.
Is the first one number one, Barry Ferguson?
No.
Gary McSheffrey, number one.
No.
I've got it now. Here we go.
Can I see the picture again, Chris?
It's on there. I've got it on my thing, bro.
It's up.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Is that the first one, Craig Gardner?
Well done.
Rogue. What's wrong with you, mate? You keep on getting these, right? You've been stalking players' heads.
A chap on YouTube got that first. Vizix, I believe. Yeah. Oh no.
Who's number two?
No.
Is it not? Is it not Digger?
No.
It's not Tom Adeyemi, is it?
No.
Claire, show me the number two again.
Don't say that too loud.
No. Rogue wants a number two.
Somebody said DJ Campbell, Trevor John Smith.
No. I've not looked on YouTube. I'll have a look on YouTube.
Did they play together, Chris?
Pardon? I think there might have been an early late crossover.
Oh, that's a good shout from Benji Smith. Andros Townsend.
No.
That's like Billy Alley, but it can't be.
No, that's the thing. It was that.
Ooh. Oh, I am shocked.
His head's too small for
Curtis. Much hair for Curtis Davies, isn't it?
It's not Curtis Davies, but I think it is a young shot of this chap.
Magoma?
No.
No. Ravel Morris.
Can I look at the picture again?
Mr. Hipkiss.
Ravel Morrison.
It certainly is.
It's who?
Ravel Morrison.
Ravel, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Can we play again?
Can I look at the picture again?
Shut up!
No, Rob, you can't.
Anybody within striking distance.
I know, yeah. And then they got the Who. Who's the Who?
Right, okay, so we're going to have a Who now.
Previous guest again.
Okay, I want nobody on the panel to say who they think it is just yet. Okay, because I think this is quite easy. Here we go.
In terms of memory, the final was the.
I've got that.
I know who that is.
Okay. And he was a guest.
I thought it was Rooney for a second.
He was a guest not too long ago for me as well.
I think he's been on twice, hasn't he?
Oh, yeah.
People will get that straight away, I reckon. I'm confident on that one.
No one so far on.
The accent might throw a few people, actually, unless they actually know.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
PW is blue. It's not Liam Ridgewell, mate.
No, it's not Liam Ridgewell. Anyone on Facebook?
The player I thoroughly enjoyed watching. I thoroughly enjoyed going around that time when he played. It was just great, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
And a genuinely nice guy as well.
Yeah. I've met him a few times, yeah.
Yeah. No one so far.
Really?
I can't believe nobody's got that.
No.
Do you want to play it once more, Chris?
Not true. No, it's not. No. Hang on. Yeah, I'll play again.
Ian Clayton, it's not Bo yet.
No.
In terms of memory, the final was the best for me. Obviously, coming from Liverpool, playing against Liverpool.
I don't want to play the last tiny bit because I give
it Bill Mint, it's definitely not Carter.
Richard Adler, our actor friend in Miami. It's not Joe Gallagher.
Mark Ward. No.
Not Mark Ward.
No.
Oh, wow. I can't believe this.
No.
I'm shocked.
It's a good one.
Coming from Liverpool.
Rove knows it.
Yeah, Pete Taylor.
Pete Taylor's got it.
Well done, Pete.
The one and only Nearly Addy Bowler, who appears when we used to have whenever we have the last 15, Nearly appears every time, then he's somewhere.
Yeah,
he does. And I've got to say, Dealey was very, very nice and joined me last Tuesday for a Solihull OSC get-together. And he just joined in with everybody and everything else. And at the end of it, surprise, some of the comments on social media was, because we'd had some food, was, did Dealey have a bowl of curry? So they even carried on after the show has taken place. But no, what a genuinely nice guy. And up to some fantastic things, may I add, with the Solihull Moors Foundation and doing some absolute sterling work with those guys. And actually Solihull Moors looking for a new manager after their manager left.
Yeah, good luck to Andy Wing at Barrow as well. But yeah, I'll have to check under my mat in my porch, Craig, for my invite for last Tuesday. I think I might have missed it.
I thought he was going to apply for the job then, Paul.
I got one. I got one as well. I did, Paul, in Texas.
Yeah, really? He just didn't want to go.
I didn't get one.
No, nor me.
Because Robe, only special people get invites. You know, Paul's is definitely out there, and everybody else is. But you, on the other hand, I purposely put a block on your name.
I'll check under the mat, Joe. I'll see if it's still there. But yeah, so
I don't know where that time's gone. Where's the time gone?
It has flown.
So very quickly then, predictions for Wrexham away on Thursday. I will start us off with a very hard-fought 2-1 win to Blues. Mark Meredith.
1-1.
Okay, Claire.
I was going to say 2-1.
Okay, Road.
Blues, obviously.
I'm going to say I'm going to say it'll be a repeat of when we played them before, 3-1. Because I don't think Wrexham are that good.
No,
I don't.
Alan.
Take away the Hollywood.
Well, if we can't match Shrewsbury, we're struggling. So I'll go 2-1. Yeah.
Okay, Craig.
I'm going to go for a 2-0 against Wrexham, but also I'm just going to chuck in there my prediction for the ladies' game as well. I want to see a 2-0 win for the ladies on Sunday as well.
Yeah, good luck to the ladies on Sunday as well, definitely.
I'm gonna watch the game on Thursday at that Cosmos in Dallas. You know, the one with the big dome.
Gonna try and watch
pictures, Meredith.
Oh, I'm looking for Claire in the stands.
Get them to put the.
I'll wait, yeah.
Get them to put the aircon on as cold as it possibly can be and sit right by
Yeah, so it feels like you're behind there.
Chris, your prediction for Thursday?
I'm going to go for a nice 3-1 win.
We have to win on Thursday because, as the Philadelphia advert once said, it's my birthday.
Oh,
there you go.
And your
birthday.
So we have to win on Thursday because I am 46 years young on Thursday.
Wow.
We got to win. We got to win 6-4.
Yes.
Yeah.
I hope not.
4-6.
I won't be able to take 6-4.
4-6 will be better, Mark. 46.
Yeah.
We're the away team, so it'll still be 6-4. So we're good anyway.
Yeah, but I'm not 64.
Predictions on the message board.
I get older losing my hair.
Benji Smith said 1-1. Jason McDonough said a 3-1 Blues. Ian Clayton's going for a 5-2 win. Pete Taylor says we're going to have a statement, a 5-0 win, and McLean's going to be sent off or be snapped in half by Clara. Bill Mintz is going for a 3-0. 1-1 for Dom Kavanagh. McLean to be booked and pick up his 2-match ban, which would be even better. And finally, Ray Cornish is saying 2-0 to Blues.
And that's a wrap.
On that, just how good was it when the Shrewsbury player kicked him the other day and then celebrated like he'd were?
Oh, it was awesome, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it was at the end of the game as well, which made it even better. It was beautiful.
Nobody likes him, do they?
No.
It's horrible.
Like Rowe, buddy.
I can hear you.
Paul, you're the same age as my youngest daughter, which just goes to show how old you are.
Anyway, on that note,
it makes me even older.
So on that note, we've been the Tilton Talk Show. It's good night from me. And thank you everyone for watching. And it's good night from Mark Meredith.
Good night from me. And it's a good night from my best friend, Mr. Mark Robe.
Hey, it's good night from me, and it's good night from Claire.
You had to think about that then.
You forgot my name then. I'm the only girl in the group.
No. I was in my mind, I was going through the permutations.
He was shocked that someone said best friend. That's what it was.
You see, I know he hasn't passed out yet either.
Right, it's a good night from me, and it's a good night from the ladies' person himself, Mr. Craig Courtney.
It's a good night from me. It's a happy birthday, Paul, on Thursday, and here's to the 3 points. And last but not least, we hand over to the man with the buttons and the bloke who makes the tea, apparently, Chris Browne.
Is there anybody else left after me?
It's all right. I'm just here for the ride.
Oh, Alan.
yeah.
I forgot the German. That's terrible.
Oh, no.
It's a good night from me, and it's a good night from Alan.
It's a good night from me, and I'm a bit upset, Mark, that you chose the other Mark as your best friend. I thought I was.
Yeah, sorry. It was very close. It was like the player of the season. It was borderline.
Okay.
That's Rob's
anyway, good night to everybody, and happy birthday, Paul.
Thanks,
and
mate.
let's have the 3 points for him, and see you next week.
And as Mark's t-shirt says, or Rope's t-shirt, always Blues.
Good night.
Yeah.
We can't end like that. Keep right on. Come on.
No. I mean, come on. And Robe, don't let it go to your head.
This is official merchandise from the club shop.
With an official tag as well, yeah?
Yeah.
Where's your cushion, Robes?
That's gone missing, that has. I genuinely
Wiseman took it.
You better not have done.
Robe, Mr. Meredith said he was your friend, but he was lying through his teeth.
He wasn't. He wouldn't lie.
Hi, Gemini. The football transfer window's open. How are my team's stats looking?
Well, your team definitely has a lot of star power.
Do you think we can have a good season?
It's going to come down to consistency and a little bit of luck on your side.
I'll let you know if we win.
I'll be keeping an eye on the scores.
Yeah, me too.
Now we're talking. Transfer to Google Pixel 9 with Gemini Live today. Sequences shortened. Gemini Live available for ages 18+. Internet required. Results are illustrative. Check responses for accuracy. Feature and account compatibility limitations apply.
We're BetMGM Sports and Casino. We know things aren't always golden. That's why we offer you the tools to keep your place safe. Set timeouts to always ensure you take a break when you feel like you need it. Set reality checks so you know exactly how long you've been playing. And set deposit limits to help control what you spend. Stay golden with BetMGM. Play responsibly.
18+. This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.